In basketball, as in life, hard truths can be a stepping stone for growth. I care about all of you and your basketball journeys, so today I want to give you some tough love. Here are 3 honest reasons you aren't getting more playing time, and the great thing is, they are all things that can be worked on. If you aren't seeing consistent minutes on your basketball team, the most obvious reason is maybe you're just not skilled enough. Yet. It's a harsh reality, but basketball is a game where the team that scores more points wins. And if you aren't 7 foot tall or a freak athlete, you need to bring something to the table in the skill department to help your team win. But first, let's take a hard look at your game. Can you make shots consistently? Do you put pressure on the defense by getting to the rim or creating for others? Are you an asset defensively? These are just some of the skills that really define your value on the court. If they're lacking, then so is your argument that you should be getting more playing time. Now, I said earlier, maybe you're not skilled enough yet because there's always room for improvement. This is even the case with the best players in the world, NBA players like Jimmy Butler. Early in his career, Butler wasn't the star player that we know today. He was seen as a decent player, but he wasn't a standout. So what changed? Well, he began relentlessly working on his skills. He transformed his shooting, became a defensive menace, and developed moves to attack the rim consistently. Jimmy Butler's path to becoming a star in the NBA wasn't about getting more playing time, it was about earning it. Another issue for you is that you might have the skills to be on the court, but you aren't aggressive enough. Yes, Jimmy added skills, but what makes him great is his mentality of constantly attacking the defense. Easy ways to be more aggressive are to attack closeouts, sprint to spots in transition, and take open shots every single time. You could work on your shot for hours every day, but if you get in a game and you don't shoot, why should your coach trust you with minutes? Now, this is your wake-up call to assess your skills and get in the gym. I went through the same thing when I got to high school. I realized I couldn't shoot consistently, so instead of making excuses, I got to work. Having skill is one thing, but understanding the game, that's where basketball IQ comes into play. This is another hard truth for all players. If you aren't getting enough playing time, it might be because your basketball IQ isn't where it needs to be. As you get to the higher levels of basketball, skill tends to even out. Understanding the game at a high level can be the thing that actually keeps you on the court. But here's a critical point that I don't think gets talked about enough. Your playing time often hinges on how well your game intelligence can adapt to what your coach is looking for. My college coach always used to say, there's only a certain amount of minutes in a game, and he decides who gets them. And speaking of college, shout out to my Colgate boys for clinching yet another regular season championship. Big things are to come for this team. Listen, every coach you play for is going to have a different strategy and vision for their team. Your ability to fit into that vision is part of being an intelligent player. Take Rajon Rondo, for example. He was never the most athletic player, wasn't a high-level shooter or scorer, but his understanding of the game was exceptional. Rondo knew where everyone should be, he anticipated plays before they happened, and made decisions that benefited the team. This is why on those great Celtics teams with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, it was almost impossible for Doc Rivers to take Rondo off the court. So how do you improve your basketball IQ? Well, first, you need to become a student of the game. Watch games not just as a fan, but as an analyst. Try and observe how the best players position themselves on the court and how they react to different situations. And don't just focus on NBA players, go watch college basketball games at the level that you strive for. A couple of my own full college games when I was at Colgate are on YouTube right now. Remember, at one point I was just like you, so it might be worth a watch. Also, really listen to what your coaches are looking for in their players. Being able to listen and absorb information is such an underrated skill, especially today. You don't have to make flashy passes to show you have basketball intelligence. Sometimes it's as simple as knowing when to space versus when to cut when a teammate drives. I also think talking on defense is an easy way to show coaches that you have a high basketball IQ. Remember, basketball isn't just physical, it's as much, if not more, a mental game. If you want more playing time, show your coach you're not just a player, but you're a thinker too. That's how you can become indispensable and get more minutes. An often overlooked yet crucial aspect for young players who want more playing time is not just their skill set or their game smarts, but their attitude and their level of engagement when they do get on the court. Even more so than your skill level or your basketball IQ, this is where you really earn the respect of your coach. To put it simply, do you do the basic things the right way? If you don't, then honestly, you probably shouldn't get in the game. Are you the player who hustles for loose balls, makes eye contact and listens to their coach when they're speaking, and supports their teammates' success? Or are you the player that only plays hard when they feel like it, gets distracted in practices and games, and brings positive energy only when you're in a good mood? I think we take for granted that coaches are real people with real emotions. If you are a likable person who has a good attitude, then your relationship with your coach is automatically going to be better. They will want to see you succeed. It is no surprise to me that the Celtics team chemistry has seemingly taken off this year with the addition of Drew Holiday. All all you hear from the Celtics players and coaches is that Drew is the ultimate teammate. He plays hard, never seems to complain, and he gets along with everyone. It really doesn't matter how good of a player you are. If you have a bad attitude with your teammates or coaches, you will lose respect of the team. There's another common mistake I see young players making these days. They fall into the trap of acting too cool or too nonchalant when they're on the court. This kind of attitude can be detrimental. Basketball is a game of passion and energy. When you step onto that court, you need to stop caring about what you look like. Maybe this is a social media era thing, but being too cool is not going to get you more minutes, I promise. What will get you more minutes is effort. Think about Dennis Rodman, who wasn't known for his flashy scoring. He was known for having extraordinary effort and relentless hustle. He turned each opportunity he got into a display of determination. Without much skill at all, he couldn't be taken off the court. I guarantee that guy didn't care if the audience thought he was cool or not. So when you do get your chance to play, whether it's for 1 minute or the whole game, make every second count. Play with intensity and passion that is palpable enough to affect the entire team positively. Maybe you actually don't deserve more playing time right now, but if you work on your skills, increase your IQ, and adjust your attitude, you will become a coach's dream. Stop making excuses and start making adjustments. Leave a comment on this video about your current playing time situation. And if you aren't performing on the court, watch this video on how to start playing better in your basketball games. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are the best. I'll see you next time.